यस, ओके ग्रेट। सो अभी हम लोगों ने काफ़ी शानदार सेशन अटेंड किया है और अभी जो नेक्स्ट सेशन हमारा रहने वाला और भी ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग रहने वाला है। सो हम एक बार एरिक सर के लिए क्लैप कर सकते हैं जोरदार। यस, सो काफ़ी कुछ हम लोगों को सीखने को मिला और ये सेशन में हमने स्पेशली 90 डेज के जो प्लान ऑफ एक्शन उस पर हमें ज़्यादा काम करना है और यहाँ से जाने के बाद 2026 को जो अगर हमें बड़ा ईयर बनाना है अपने बिजनेस के अंदर, तो हमें इस 90 डेज के प्लान ऑफ एक्शन पे रेगुलरली कंसिस्टेंटली जो है काम करना है। तो अभी जो हमारे पास टाइम की कमी है, तो हमारे पास जो नेक्स्ट स्पीकर है उन्हें मैं बुलाने जा रहा हूँ और आप सबकी हमें हेल्प की ज़रूरत पड़ने वाली है। सो प्लीज़ आप एक बार खड़े हो जाइए अपने अपनी जगह से एंड हेल्प मी टू वेलकम वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग, बट उनके बारे में थोड़ा बता दूँ। उन्हें बिजनेस के अंदर 22 ईयर्स कंप्लीट हो गया, 22 साल कंप्लीट हो गया उनको बिजनेस को ज्वाइन किए हुए। और हर्बलाइफ से पहले वो एक गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर थे। बिजनेस के अंदर जो है 22 साल कंप्लीट हो गया है और उनका लेवल 30 के, एंड ही इज चेयरमैन्स क्लब मेंबर। सो प्लीज लेट मी इनवाइट वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग चेयरमैन्स क्लब मेंबर नन अदर दैन मिस्टर गाना राजू सर। Hello everyone, how are you all? Hello, where are the giants here? I cannot see the giants. Are there lions over here? I heard that in Dubai there are some lions roaring that came from India. Is it true? I heard that there are some lions and tigers are roaring from India. Is it true? कहाँ है? बाहर में नहीं तो इधर. They are here. Very good. It's my privilege to host this show called podcast. Anybody heard about podcast? No? You heard about it, right? You are going to see now. This is a different kind of pattern, okay, in which I am going to invite the guest speakers. I am going to interview them, host them, all that trying to puzzle them with a lot of questions which are usually required for our business. These kind of questions usually not come in the training. That is the reason why they kept this separate concept called podcast, which will be interesting for you. So without much ado, I would like to invite our guest speakers of the day. Are you ready to invite them? Are you ready for my podcast show? आप तैयार में हो? Okay, so you are not giving me confidence. Shall I invite them or it's okay, we'll go to toilet? Shall we invite them? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are sitting like this, I cannot invite them. They are big people. They are coming from all the way from Venezuela, and they are coming from very far country, Romania. So they are Chairman's Club members. They are not small case, they are big case, 40K and 50K. And you know how long they are in Herbalife? 30 years plus, 33, 35 years, so long. Such a vast experience, you are going to see them. So I am going to invite. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome my host of the day, Mr. Van. I'm going to invite. Shall I invite? Mr. Van Miguel Mendoza from 50K Chairman's Club members. And I'm going to invite our one more wonderful Chairman's Club member from Romania. None other than, who is she? Can you understand? Mrs. Rodica, can you please invite them once again? Ladies and gentlemen, please help us to welcome the wonderful Chairman's Club members. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for that.
Hello guys, how are you? Are you ready for the podcast? Okay, let me see. Okay, that one is pretty good.
Now we can sit. Now आप बैठ सकते हैं. So we are going to have wonderful session today, Rodica and Miguel Mendoza. So it's such an honor to be hosting both of you. You are such a seniors. I was learning as a GET team member. I came to your training. I was also there part of the Goa training.
What?
I was also part of the Goa training.
Nice.
Okay.
So thank you for being with us. And I'm going to trouble you with a lot of intriguing questions. So bear with us. We are the leaders. We are upcoming leaders. We are already seasoned leaders. Okay. Now, I'll ask few honest questions. I want you to be honest as much possible. Think us as your organization, downline organizations. The first question I would like to ask you is, should a leader travel or sit in Zoom? Should they can build a business only on Zoom, or can the leaders have to shepherd their organization? As Jimran says, as a leader, you need to look over your organization. So organizations will be in different parts. So should we go physically or everything should be controlled virtually? What do you think?
Okay, so should I start? Hi guys. So let's see how the format is working. I love it. Oh, that's a good question. Now, by all means, you would think that it's better to stay at home. You don't spend the money, you don't spend the time, you don't get tired, you don't distract yourself from daily operations. But the truth of the matter is that in my experience, what is the most important for the leader is the vision and the energy. So if the leader is not getting out and taking contact with other leaders, taking contact with an energy of the event, is not participating live in an event, he's missing a lot on that. And at some point, things can become really, really bureaucratic, if I can say, and become stale, and you lose your composure, you lose your skills of being with people, of behaving, you lose the opportunities to be inspired by stories in a way which is not transmittable through the screen. So I think that the leader should travel at least, the minimum is 3 to 4 times a year to a big event, to a bigger event. Whether it is in the region or it's extravaganza or FTPR, think of you, how it would have been for you to be for 3 days in Zoom. Very practical, you know, but you would have lost so much of the flavor of this event. So for me, I think that's a duty of a leader in order to cultivate his energy, always look out for new ideas, and also expand his vision to physically travel to an event. What is your understanding?
First of all, I'm super happy to be sitting with you guys here together today. It's very special because we all have different stories, and now after so many years, having the opportunity to be here and trying to share our experience with you is fantastic. Someday in the future, you might be the one sitting here, and I might be the one doing the interview. We just never know, right? Which is great. So basically, I think you should stay at home, only Zoom. Don't take the products, don't talk to people, don't recruit, and just kidding, just kidding.
And even quit. The quitting is the best. No problems at all.
Problems at all, no problems at all. Actually, if you do nothing, you will never have problems, you will never fail, you will never make mistakes. It's going to be perfect, you know, your life will be perfect. Jim Brown used to say, just get yourself into a closed room, we feed you, we give you water, and you won't have problems in your life. Well, this is my perspective. Zoom is a tool to help us connect, right, through technology that can help us supplement many things that we do in our business. It can help you supplement certain trainings or presentations or things like that. I have done it, and sometimes is saving us some time. Like you have this focus group call with your group in different cities, and you do the Zoom and you get connected with them. Some of you have a base of customers in different cities, and you do kind of a challenge or whatever you do through Zoom, and it's a tool that can help you connect, right? But Herbalife is a business of people and stories. And nothing can replace the emotions and the connection that we have in events like this. Actually, it's not that we want you to travel or your group to travel, because we need to be conscious in terms of time and money, right? But we have to go to places in order to grow, because you get out of your comfort zone. If you're in your house in the Zoom, you shoot off the camera, or you are there, you might be paying attention for 5 minutes, and then you forget for another 10 minutes. It's not the same level of connection. And a good friend of mine, Chairman's Club member, Pedro Cardoso, used to say, the farther the distance, the bigger the commitment. It's like if you take 3 days out of your time, 4 days, and you pay some money like I did with my first extravaganza, you remember my story, you value more that. Right? You value because you're putting time and putting resources, money. Then you get there and you meet people and you do networking and you see the stories and you have the energy and you have the music and you have the outside of the room trainings. You know, we've been together listening to this in our lounge, beautiful lounge, Chairman's Club lounge, somewhere here. And we're talking, having such powerful, fantastic conversations that will be impossible to have sitting at home in a Zoom. So use Zoom or whatever technology you use as a tool to help you connect, get people closer, but design your agenda during the year that you can bring people into your city or come to events like this. Nothing can replace that.
That's great.
Exactly.
That's
I wanted to add that in my experience, one of the best ideas that I had, they came from a casual conversation at the lunch, in the hall, just meeting some people. And you miss completely that if you are staying in a Zoom call. So I think that's very important.
That's wonderful so far. The next question is about many people are here. They want to become Chairman's Club members. How many wanted to become Chairman's? Yeah. How many wanted to go to case, 30 case, 40 case, 50 case? Now my question to you are, should we aim at case or should we work for diamonds? Because this strategy is different from this strategy. Case is building royalties, and diamonds is grooming the next leader. So according to you, what is the best strategy? Should we first focus on the case or first focus on the diamonds, then case? What should be the best ideal combination in your...
By the way, you're such a good interviewer.
Thanks.
Very nice, very nice. We might bring you to the next event with us just to so that's a very good question. I was raised in the business with the mindset of building royalties because it is something that I can control. I can always continue to build, to recruit first line, try to develop my first lines, try to have a new get in my first line. And if you have enough royalties, you have a strong check, you feel more in control, you get recognition, you get the money, you get the bonuses. So you don't need a specific person in your group. It's not that you love them, you want them to grow, but you don't need them, right? If you have 20 first lines and you already have 15K royalties, it's not that you need one of them to come. Nobody can talk to you like, oh, give me, or treat me well because I can influence. No, if you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, doesn't matter. So we were raised, I think similarly, but about building your royalties because you can control. But then, in other phases of your life, it's very smart to try to reach that goal of Chairman's Club. Actually, I have certain conversations with Stefan, asking, Stefan, what do you recommend me to do? And he said to me, Juan Miguel, if you don't have enough first lines, you just continue to build your royalties and continue. But if you have enough first lines, and some of them are closer, build a strategy to try to put the base for them to make it. You won't have all the influence. But how can you influence a millionaire team member who is an adult and has 7,000 royalties? I cannot influence, his motivations and everything, but at least I can help them with a strategy if they decide to do it. That's what I did. It was funny because I always heard that one of the toughest positions in Herbalife is to stay with 4 diamonds. Because everybody will look at you like, when are you getting your 5th diamond? And I was so lucky because I went from 3 to 5. And the reason was that we were just working, and all of a sudden things came together, and I qualified 50K first, and then I qualified to chairman. So I did my part. I was focusing to building my royalties, but I believe it's also good, responsible, and super fun to be able to develop some diamonds, because then you get the Marcus Bonus Award, you see your people collecting, and for me, let me finish just with this. For me, I finish my homework when I see somebody that trusted me and believe in me and in Herbalife, and they work and they dream, and they work and they dream, and then they get to that moment of receiving their President's Team pin. For me, it's like, wow, job done, then I can move on, because we did what we were supposed to do.
Radhika?
I don't know whether this is because we are coming from the same lineage, but for all the reasons that Juan mentioned, I also think that the royalty should be a very serious focus in the beginning, also because if you build strong royalties, there is a big probability that you have already found your diamonds. Also, I think it's very important because it's keeping your independence. The moment you have a very narrow line and not a big royalties, anything happening to a person, it's not even that the person maybe is negative or wants to go outside of the business. Life can happen. People die, people, I don't know, get sick, get in accidents. And if one of the lines, for some reasons, is disabled, then you are extremely, extremely vulnerable. So there is another thing, is your competence. You can stand in front of your distributors telling that, listen, I know what I'm talking about. I've built it. I walk the walk. I talk the talk. So for all the reasons you mentioned, and the solid check, and when you have a solid check, you don't have stress, and then you have enough width to build your diamonds, I think that it's very important to solidify what is happening in your first 3 lines while looking for your next diamond. And I think in a way we did it both, because I'm 40K and you are 50K and we are Chairman's Club, and somehow I think that's the winning formula.
And imagine Rodica's business. I don't know if you know, but she has 16 first line staff teams. Imagine the business and so solid, so strong, and she knows that she has enough people to get to Founder Circle. It's about, okay, we would like to continue to build more lines, we would like to continue to build more royalties, but because she was focusing into building people and building business and building royalties, by effect, cost effect, she got to have the lines, the royalties, and the
diamonds, yes, and the comfort, because this is extremely important.
So that's a great thing. So you are saying that you should focus both, but first is always focus on the royalties as well. At the same time, groom the leaders to, if you have good royalties, then you have the ability to groom the leaders. That's what you both agree. So
and lead by example.
Lead by example. Yeah. So royalties is the first. So case are the first, not the diamonds. So when you have good case, you have a full ability to deserve that qualification. Mistakenly, sometimes we say only diamonds without going for case. So both are important, but case are more important than the diamonds. And when case you go, then diamonds obviously follow one today,
Yeah.
tomorrow. That's what.
So this is why I say going for case first, and then the diamonds are coming.
Yeah. So it's a great explanation, right? It's mind-opening. Did you find usefulness? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So my next question
But I
is...
just wanted to say, guys, you need to understand, this is our experience, yes? There is enough experienced people in this room that can feel and believe different. We can rely on our experience, and this is how we think. If you think differently, we have no problem with that.
Yeah. So next question is out of syllabus, totally out of syllabus. So Jim Rohn says, when you live well, you can earn well, which means when you live well with a good lifestyle, well-groomed person, well-mannered person, manner of values, standards, etiquette, then you can attract good kind of people, because it's not what you say, it is what you behave, what people look at you. You attract the people like a magnet. So the question which I am going to ask is, in the company trainings we hardly talk about the grooming and etiquette. But outside people, in the trainings, a lot of times we talk only about 90-day plan, go to next level, go to next level. They go to next level, but their royalties are growing up, but they are not growing up. Personal development is missing, particularly inner growth. Communication skills are not developed, then body language is not developed. Their outside, the behavior is totally different. So how their behavior, like an average supervisor, how they eat. They put so much of food in the plate and they keep on eating. Some of them push in the line. They are not, though they are leaders, but they push, they don't have the lines, they don't have the manners. So that, where do you speak in your trainings? Because company level, company in that limited time, nobody can able to teach. But in your organization events, how do you groom your leaders? Do you have separate events for grooming, personal development, inner etiquette manners, or how do you groom them? Particularly when they come to countries like Dubai, like new countries, new legislation, new kind of culture. So how do you tell them? Do you tell them, or you just leave it to them? How do you? Because there's a big question company, currently having this problem. Leaders are growing in terms of royalties and check, but inner man is not growing. Do you require courses for them, or you put them away? How? In eating, dress code and behaving, discipline, coming to time and not getting up in the meetings. So a lot more. As a leader, how you represent a multinational company?
I think this is very important question. It's a part of evolution. And in the end of the day, money is energy. And there is always, in my understanding, there needs to be a match between the energy of the money and your inner energy to be worthy of money in many, many ways. Money don't mean anything, or don't mean everything. I mean, if you are sick or if you lose somebody who is dear to you and you cannot save him with the money, it's not solving all the problems. But for sure, money needs to make you live better. There is a couple of rules that I learned from Mark Hughes. He said, whilst you start making more money, always make sure that the quality of your life improves. You go to better house, you wear better clothes, you have better behavior, you go to better places in vacation, and you surround yourself with the people on the same level. Because this is going, like you say, to attract to you another quality of people, but then this is making sense of your money. So I remember he was always saying, for example, you always you always need to live in a beautiful house, even if you rent it, and even if you spend more money than you would spend normally, not putting yourself into danger, but really growing yourself to the level of your money. So when you will come back home, you will always feel inspired by your environment to go the next day and work again. So for me, this is extremely important. Yes, I took courses. I took good manners courses. I took how to eat courses. I took etiquette courses because I'm coming from a communist regime. You didn't need etiquette in a communist regime. Everybody was the same and nobody was required to have a certain behavior. I wasn't a savage. I'm coming from an intellectual family, but there were so many things I didn't know. And I had to learn, and I had to elevate myself, and I had to teach my children these things. And I had to implement in my house that I'm eating only from plates, and only with knives and forks every day, and drinking only from beautiful glasses every day, and have beautiful tableware every day. Why? Because I can afford it, and this is bringing my energy up. And when somebody's seeing me, he understands that I am a higher level person and I can attract higher level people. And this is what we show to our people. We invite them into our houses. They see our furniture. They see our lifestyle. We talk to them all the time about the standard. And think about that. How many are here? And you are going to be 10 times more in the next 10 years. How would it be in India, which is so big, the Herbalife people to be recognized just because they're really elegant, and they have these manners, and they have this behavior, and they're really looking smart? I think that would be really nice to be this example in the society.
That's a great.
Jim Rohn used to say, success is easier to attracting success than just pursuing success. It's a lot easier to attract the right people, right? And in order to attract people, you need to be attractive, right? I believe the number one characteristic of being attractive is to have a good smile. Yeah, just to having a good smile, good energy, being somebody educated enough to say, hello, how are you, in your own manners, in your own way. Then we try to look the best that we can look under the circumstance. If you have a party on a boat, you want to be with boat outfit. You don't want to be with a tuxedo, right? And if you have a business meeting, you want to look like a business person. But if you are doing the fit camp, you want to be into the fit camp. So it's not easy. I'm very simple, by the way. Marie knows I'm very simple, very basic. I could use the same, the olive green suit for 2 years or something like that. But it's very important to understand that good things will make you attractive, and you will feel better. Sometimes you dress up for you in order to feel better. For example, I used to play sports, and in baseball or in other sports, you have the uniform. I cannot go and play golf looking like somebody playing soccer, football. No, I want to go play golf and look like a professional golf player. My hat, my shirt, my thing, it's part of the persona. You know, you want to look like that. Then, manners, very important. Actually, in some camp, in events like this, leadership events, we brought external speakers to give us guidance into certain level of education. For me, guys, I was used to eat with my family in my house. The first few times that you go to a restaurant, it's not that you have bad manners, but you don't know what to do, right? So many things here, so many things there. You want to learn. I'm a boy, so for me it was like, what's going on? So you need to learn. And then I got advice from a very smart person. And I said, how do you know so many things about so many things? And he said to me, Juan Miguel, the secret is I pay attention.
Yes.
I'm a very good observing people. I pay attention. How do they dress? How do they walk? So I started doing like that. I tried to copy my mentors. And I was sometimes being dressed like Pedro Cardoso or Leon Weissman. Then I was talking like Michael Cole. Then I was trying to get the suit of Mark Hughes, similar suit to Mark Hughes, just by copying. But I think people will look at us as the Herbalife guys. We are the Herbalife guys in our communities, in the school of our kids, in the gym. We're the Herbalife guys. It's very important that we look healthy, strong, and we can dress properly and be this. Try to project this success. By the way, in our case, it's not fake. In Miami, a lot of fake success. They don't have money to pay for food, some of them, but they have $2,000 shoes. No, in our case, we're not faking it. We are like that. We have that success. We want to share it with people.
That's great. So
I just wanted to say
yes.
something. I want to propose you an exercise which I'm proposing to my guys oftentimes. Go into expensive places. Go into a 5-star hotel. Some of you may feel that you don't belong there. You need to go over there. Go and sit into a tiny little corner and observe. See how people move, see how they dress, see how they are behaving. Why? Because you're preparing yourself for the 5-star life. So in order to live that 5-star life, you need to look how it looks. Maybe in your house, maybe in your neighborhood, you don't see that. It's going to be highly uncomfortable for some of you in the beginning, but go over it, and then you will immediately understand, oh, I don't know how to behave, I don't know how to turn, I don't know what to say, and then you will understand, I need to learn this, and I need to learn that, and I need to learn that. And it's a beautiful process where you transform yourself.
And by the way, growing, you know, we all want to be happy. And you have certain elements that help you be happy. Contribution, friends, relations, but a big player is growing. When you feel that you're learning, you are growing, you are getting to the next level in marketing plan, you are getting fitter, you are having progress into a goal, you're having progress into a sport, it brings that sense of happiness. So it's very good to try to get better, look at yourself in a year from now and think, like, wow, I look good, I feel good, I can show that. People is noticing that because they look at us like, wow, they look great. It happened to me. You know, in college, in the university, people start looking at me like, wow. You know, when I bought my first car, I remember 30 years ago, $15,000 was a lot of money. That car paid by itself like 100
10 times, yes.
Because just when I bought the car was the hottest story in the university. So everybody was asking. It was my biggest jump in my business after that, because I was showing that things were moving. So that car got paid. Then I said, if this car is getting paid by itself, I need another car. So I bought a Porsche, that red Porsche. It was a lot of money. I never borrow money to buy things like that, never. I want to talk about that maybe later. But I bought it, trust me, that Porsche got paid by itself many times too.
Wonderful. So the final gist of the question which I asked is, leaders, growing royalties is one thing, growing as a person is another thing. So you should grow both. Suppose you grow in terms of royalties, but you do not grow internally, then Jim Rohn says, again your check will come back to where you deserve.
Yeah.
So you have to work together, work both on both lines, work both on royalties as well as in your personal development. On the similar lines, I want to ask you one more interesting thing, is how important is to work on understanding about Marcuse and Jim Rohn philosophy. So do the leaders, Jim Rohn says leaders are the readers. So how many people really read the books every day? Every day do you read the books? Every day how many people watch Marcuse and Jim Rohn videos? Every day. So do you think, I know both of you are there observing the Marcuse and Jim Rohn, but current new leaders, they don't know so much depth about Marcuse and Jim Rohn. What do you say?
Okay, Rodica is going to go first because she's somebody that inspired me to always be curious and learning. and trying to learn and get better and get prepared. So why don't you give them some advices, and then we'll tell you what I did, what I used to do, what I do now.
I can't say that I'm listening to Marcuse and I'm reading Jim Rohn's books every day. Partially because there was a period in my life when I read all the books and I learned all the principles. And also, I was the lucky one to spend about 15 years, even more, with Jim Rohn and being trained by Jim Rohn 2 or 3 times a year, which is something absolutely impossible to value. So, but I think that knowing Jim Rohn and knowing Marcuse's teaching, Marcuse is for you to get the DNA of the company. I mean, if you haven't been listening to Mark, and you haven't been listening like to hours of Mark, I was present at hours of Mark's training, only 5 years, but I was in his live trainings, and then listening to his tapes, when you are actually missing on the spirit of the company. And you will see how much power you will gain from that tapes. And also Jim. What I like very much about Jim, because I read a lot of books in my life, but what I like about Jim is that you cannot take out words from what he's writing. He is using just the right amount of words that are needed to convey an idea, meaning every word is going to be a treasure. You don't need to read thousands of pages because every phrase is a conclusion. Every phrase is an indication. So he's very, if you want, efficient to read. Whatever you read, everything is useful for you. And it's incredible to to shape your mindset. I think for us, and I was having the conversation with Marina Bore in the speaker's room, and she told me something like that. She said, you in Herbalife are so spoiled. Having Mark and Jim Rohn, you don't even know. And I say, yeah, and I was listening to Jim Rohn's trainings for 15 years. And she's like, I'm jealous of you. You don't understand what a treasure this is for Herbalife. So just sometimes we take it for granted, but no, do it. Read the 7 strategies for being wealthy and happy. Read the seasons of life. This is a wisdom which is absolutely powerful, and it will change your mind and it will change your life.
Absolutely, and it will help you program yourself
Yeah.
for that better version of yourself. By the way, let's talk about that subject, which is personal development, personal growth, right? It's very important. Sometimes we get the two extremes, right? Some people start doing this course, that course, the other course, they read 25 books. The concept of personal growth and personal development is in the name. Is to develop yourself, is to grow yourself. So I read with a purpose. I read with a purpose of getting better, not just to consume the information, but to use the information for my own benefit in life. Sometimes I read books and I'm reading 3 pages in 30 minutes and didn't continue because I took something from the page and I'm not thinking about my group, myself, this, my kids, it's true, I can get this. And really trying to read personal development in order to grow, not just to do check. I read too many books. By the way, it's better to read many books than not to read books, but don't get hooked into the personal development career. Try to do it with a purpose of, am I getting better in communicating, better in talking with my people, better in managing my emotions, I'm getting better in recruiting, I'm getting better on the stage, I'm getting better as a speaker. With that purpose, you cannot believe how much can you grow. I was raised in Herbalife with my mentors. I believe Herbalife is the best and biggest personal development training in the world. If you have children, 18, 19, 20, hopefully they can do Herbalife for 1 year. Then they can quit and do whatever they want. Just 1 year in Herbalife, the amount of skills that you can develop in communication, sales, follow-up, managing money, managing time is amazing. Well, so I used to listen to Mark Hughes a lot, and especially Jim Rohn. I read like 3 or 4 basic books at the beginning, like The Richest Man in Babylon, recommended by Jim Rohn, like See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar, like The Richest Man, and the other one is the best seller in the world.
Rich man in the Babylon.
Yeah, that one. So I read those who were simple for me to digest, and I learned a lot. And I always in my car, I was listening to Jim Rohn all the time in my car. It was like my friend, my companion, all the time listening to Jim Rohn. And I was very lucky because I got to be good friend with Jim Rohn for many years. And one day I was in my house in Phoenix, and he has a house in Phoenix. And then somebody called to my house, and then the person that was in the house helping us said like, "Hi, Juan Miguel, you have a call." Yes, who is this? This is Jim Rohn. And I was like, Jim Rohn, one of my friends always doing the trick, and I said the phone, "Yeah, right, who is this?" "Hey, Juan Miguel, this is Jim Rohn." "Hey, Mr. Rohn, how are you?" And then I went, and we went out, and I went to pick him up a couple of times to take him to his home and everything. And I remember driving my car with Jim Rohn here, and I was looking at him, and I said to him, "Jim Rohn, Mr. Rohn, you cannot believe how many times you have been with me in this car. You have been with me in this car all the time, and now I have you here. It's crazy."
Hey.
So, but I try always to use personal development as a growing tool When you understand it like that, you never stop reading, never stop listening to the audio because you want to grow.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So the final, the gist of this conversation regarding this Marcuse and Jim Rohn is leaders are the readers. So please go through the books. You need to read some books. Definitely we have to keep on upgrading our skills. And I see a lot of growth in our seniors because I understood that the Mexico is Mexico because of Jim Rohn. That's what many leaders say. Mexico has grown so much because of Jim Rohn. South America grown so much because of Jim Rohn. So those leaders influenced us and we're also growing. So we investing on ourselves, so on personal development. No other businesses, this kind of personal development is there. Not in real estate, not in diamonds business, not in gold business, only in us. So we say, as said, please focus on working and reading on the Jim Rohn and Marcuse, absorb it. Okay, Eric Ware was talking a lot about Jim Rohn, you know it. So we are very blessed to have Jim Rohn and Marcuse. Please go through and invest in your lives in that. Next point I want to ask you is, how many people want to, Millennium members, how many people wanted to become president team as your life goal? मेरे ज़िंदगी में एक बार at least president team तो बनना है. Okay, very good. So that is their life goal. Okay. How many people want to keep becoming chairman's club as your life goal? Or founder circle as your life goal? The problem with this life goal is, the moment they reach their life goal, they don't go to next level. This is the problem with our organization. Some of my organizations, their life goal is becoming president team, they become. Afterward, they're not working. Because they thought, this is my kaisa bhi karke I have to become, banna hai. President team I have to become, president team, that's all the time they are tuned. Like Jim Rohn says, there is a problem, the people from the moon, astronauts, initially astronauts, when they come to moon, they don't know what to do. They have psychological issues. Because they went to moon and they came back, what else they can do? So is it important for them to not just focus only on press team or chairman's club or founder circle, but on their life purpose, reasons to reach many people, inspiring many people, touching the people's lives. The main purpose of the goal is important, or just only some few goals? What do you think?
So how would you formulate the question?
Is, your life goal is only president team? You don't want to go to next level? Or it's not the next level, it's the reasons why you are in Herbalife. Is your purpose is more important or your life goal is important?
Yeah, so purpose versus goal, yeah.
I already achieved my goal, so I need not work.
Yeah.
How is there?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. It's your turn now to go first.
Huh?
It's your turn to go first. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much. Okay, basically, I'm a little bit different in an aspect. You have to do nothing. For you, for Rodica, for me, you can stay wherever you are. That's your business, that's your life, that's your problem, honestly. If you are hardworking and you go to millionaire team and you want to stay there for the rest of your life, so be it. If you got to be president's team and you want to stay there by collecting 4%, so be it, doesn't matter. It's not an obligation. But if you really take Herbalife as your career, you want to excel in your career. Just to be an example to your group, to your children, to your organization, you want to do well because you have decided to do Herbalife. And for me, President's team, I mentioned this yesterday, was the completion of the first phase of my career. Now I have graduated as a President's team. Now is the moment to start working. And I wanted to be, one diamond President's team, then 15K, then 20K, then 30K, then 40K. Actually, there was a moment that I was so wired to go next, that I was not enjoying. I was enjoying, but not like consciously understanding, like, I accomplished 20K, it's good, because I want to next. Then I said, no. Every step is important, enjoy it, continue to build, but you want to go to the next step. So that was my philosophy. Second, I use a protection philosophy. And I learned from one of my sponsors, Michael Cole, that when you want to protect, for example, the President's team pin is the dream. The realization of that dream is 6% every month, right? in the economic aspect. So in order to protect the 6%, you need to be at least 50% more, which is 15K. Because you are 15K, you are protecting the 6%. If you want to be 20K, you need to be at least 30K. Not to collect the 30K, is to protect the 20K check, all right? Because whatever PIN we have is probably our best 3 months in life. It's not that we're solid there. It's our best 3 months reaching the best 3 months that we qualify. It's not that you are solid there. So our mindset as a group was, okay, if you really want to protect a pin, get to the next one. So I go to 30K, to 20K, I want to get to 30K to protect the 20K. Then from 30K, I want to be 50K to protect the 30K check. That was kind of the game. We used to play as a game. And then lastly, sorry to take so much time, we did a little bit of healthy, friendly competition among some friends. And they were like a group of 10 or 15 good friends, and we're always like, oh, he's getting faster than me, I want to get there, I want to get there. And it was like a game for us that we were playing, and it was fun, so much fun, because it was not only about the stress, like I have to do it. No, I don't have to do it. I want to do it, period.
I remember when you were teasing each other and also rooting for each other, like getting crazy, everybody, when the next of you would achieve something. And that was such an inspirational example of true leadership. I think the question is very right. What is most important, the purpose or the goal? Nobody teaches us to live on purpose. Most of us come into this world and we are brought to think that we are unworthy, that good things cannot happen to us, that happiness is for somebody else, that money is for somebody else, that fame is for somebody else, that the success is for somebody else. And of course, it's extremely difficult sometimes to stomach, especially if we really work hard and we go fast to where we go. And but this is again coming from personal development. You know, I like one phrase that I read at one moment, and it said that our business is actually a personal development plan disguised as a business. And if you want to keep developing yourself, you understand at some point that your success is not only for yourself, that your purpose here is to make a difference. And you don't stop, not because it's not enough money for you, and not because it's, you know, you cannot stop and you are such a workaholic, but you are actually going more because of the difference. And this is the question my daughters ask me many times. She says, Mommy, you have everything. You have the money, you have the diamonds, you have the bags, you have the shoes, you have the houses, you have the cars. You have been traveling all over the world. Why are you still going with such intensity? And I say, because of the impact. I understand that I have, now that I have received so much from God, you know, I have a responsibility to pay it forward. I need to keep doing the things so I can really help some other people. So at some point in your journey, you can stop, like Juan is saying. You can get in competition in order to protect the check, which I 100% agree, 100% agree. Your check is at least 10,000 royalties more you need to have in order to be sure that you have that check. But also because you evolve into a human being for whom keeping growing is a part of the path, it's a part of the meaning, it's a part, and it becomes your purpose. I think then it's really when you can have not only success and money, but also fulfillment. And I'm trying to live like that.
Yeah, it's a great question. Actually, a lot of people also asked me for India when I become Chairman's Club. For many people, because I was second in becoming. So they're asking after Chairman's Club, if I still working, why are you working? I said, Chairman's Club is not my final destination. So I said, okay, I reached some level. Does not mean my final goal, Mark's mission of taking good nutrition entire world is not achieved. So I thought, life purpose, some people say president team becoming is my life purpose. But the moment they consider president team achievement is their life purpose, their personal growth stops.
Yeah, that's a dangerous way to say.
That's what.
Yeah.
So that's why you should, once you come to that level, then keep on revising, upgrading your goals. Otherwise, your stagnation will be. That's what I say.
It's the process of renewing your goals. Every time that you achieve a goal, super important to renew a goal. Why? And we learned this from Jim Rohn. Because the main purpose, we're talking about purpose, purpose is a big word.
It's a big word, yeah.
Very big word, right?
It's a deep conversation.
But the main purpose of achieving a very tough, difficult, high goal is the person that you need to become in order to achieve it.
Yeah.
So when you put big goals and you work hard and you develop skills and you train yourself and your mind and your attitude and your emotions and your communication and things, and you achieve that goal, if you stop, then you start feeling bad. You stop and you feel like weird. But if you put another goal, the next one, and you're forcing yourself a little bit to continue to grow and becoming more in order to get to that level, is fantastic. And then it's great because you can be an inspiration for your group, because they will think like, wow, if my sponsor went from president's team member to 15K, can I go from getting to millionaire team? Of course. If they can continue to do it, I can continue to do it. I will share maybe later today or tomorrow a story about Raquel Cortez, which is a huge inspiration for me. She has a story that is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. So leaders, we are seeing. So going upon your personal development is very important. Don't stop. Keep on growing. Let's grow Herbalife. Can you repeat for me? We can. Let's grow Herbalife. Wonderful. One more trickish question to you, Rodika, is for Indian context, average Indian, getting $10,000 is a big money. People, they come to millionaires team level and president team level, money is very big comparing with average Indian. So they get complacent, they step back, they focus on saving that money, investing on that money, rather than growing on themselves. So they get defocused sometimes. So what is your advice? You make a lot of money, definitely, but you still work on Herbalife. You are not defocusing yourself from investing that money, saving that money, keeping that money all the time. That's not your attitude. You can come back to again your life purpose. Your main objective is helping more people. So what do you think? Leaders, as leaders, what is there supposed to be?
Sometimes we don't realize what we say. Because, for example, imagine yourself that you are an employee and you have a very big salary. And then one day you come to your boss and you say, my salary is so big, I don't need to work anymore. What will happen the next day? You are going to be fired. Now, as entrepreneurs, the same thing is happening. If we don't work anymore, it's just absolutely natural that we lose what we have created. Now, but just, this is like an anecdote or a joke. But there is something else you said, so people start investing in different things. I remember one of my lessons, which I had when I was in the beginning with our sponsors. She had this very strict kind of education for us. We were young, and she was telling us, we were a millionaire team, and she was telling us, no stupid spending, no investment. Everything needs to go into the business and need to go into the security for your family. And she was always educating us like that, and she was always telling us to say, the minute you start to have money, you become like honey, which is attracting flies. And these flies are people who come to you with the ideas where to spend money. And you end up distracting yourself from the business, find yourself in funny places with the money, find yourself completely being worried about what to do. And the very funny thing is when somebody is coming to me to propose another business, and it's really making me laugh. I said, why would I go and do another business when I have a business which I can work 24/7 and really know that I can have the results? So you need to be very careful. For me, rule number one is nothing can distract me from my business. If this is something which needs to distract me, then I'm out. Second rule is I need to take care to not, like we were discussing yesterday, to not take energy into whatever I'm doing. Of course, first you have a little bit of money. And by the way, $10,000 can be a lot of money, but it's really not a lot of money to go and do stupid things with them. And plus, if you don't take care of your business, you will very soon find yourself without $10,000. So you need to be very, very careful. Here, to learn financial literacy is extremely important. And securing your check, and you can really be secure in Herbalife as a check, I think about 40,000 royalties. Until you build a business over 30 or 40,000 royalties, that's meaning enough first lines to support you in case you get distracted or something happens. You cannot be really started to invest somewhere else and distract your attention. This is my understanding.
Absolutely.
Great answer, sir.
You know, they did an interview to what probably he is the #1 investor in history. He's 94 years old. He just retired from being the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway like a month ago. His name is Warren Buffett. And he always do like kind of convention with investors and things. And they ask him, you are the smartest guy with investments and things, over 70 years investing. What is the #1 investment that you would recommend? And the guy said, like, that's a very good question. The #1 investment that I will recommend, the most important, is invest in yourself. Whatever you do to invest in yourself, you're gonna have the biggest return on your investment. And that's a very smart, coming from this guy. He's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And he said, like, I remember when I paid for my first course about how to talk in public, and I did that investment had returned, you know, a limited amount of money to me. But in my case, I think we should be very aggressive producing money and a little bit conservative spending money.
Yeah.
Mark Hughes used to say, never invest your money when you need to invest your time. Your time with Herbalife, you're building your future, you're building your independence, put the time in what you know to do, invest. So in my case, it's #1, invest in yourself. Come to the events. I know people that they invest in a house, but they cannot go to Vienna to the owner because they don't have money. They decide to invest in a house first instead of in themselves. Invest first in yourself, then in your business. Until I was very well into President's team, my #1 priority was to invest in my Herbalife business.
Yep.
Everything, the rooms, the meeting rooms, whatever I was doing,
The
people that was helping me.
The promotions.
The promotions, a lot of promotions, people that was helping me to do business, the assistant, the things, investing in my business because it's what I know, it's what I do, and I have the biggest return. Then, if you have extra money, after you take care of the basics, which is not that, which is have your health insurance, maybe you have a life insurance if you have family and things can happen, then you can invest in things that won't take time from you. But you need to be very careful. As Rodrigo was mentioning, you're gonna have a lot of creative friends and family members. Come here, invest in this, and it's gonna be...
No, the key word is not invest here, but invest in here now. Now, because if you lose the moment now, when you hear somebody saying invest now, just turn around and go.
Yeah, run. Yes, like invest here, blah, 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 blah. And then, by the way, it's a hit to your ego.
Yeah.
Because these friends come to you and say, let's invest. I remember I invest like 25 years ago, like $40,000 into it was like a theme park. American theme park was getting it, and I wanted to feel like, yes, I'm an investor. I own shares of that place. I never received $1 back. You know, by the way, guys, I've lost enough money in the wrong investment, not now, but at the beginning of my career.
To give advice.
So I can give you the advice. I already lose the money, you don't have to lose the money, right? So invest in money, things that I don't know, I don't have the expertise, people that they don't know, you need to follow the money, the interests are there, so be conservative. So in my case, I was very conservative. I put my extra money into a mutual fund that I don't need to think about it. I don't think about it, it's just there. growing with the index, and then I bought my houses. My second house, I bought the lot cash because I was saving. Then I built the house there. The next house, I bought the lot cash, and I built the house there. But it was for me. But I did it with the purpose of living and maybe a future investment, things like that. But at this level, trust me, my friend, invest in yourself and invest in your business. Then, and don't lose money with creative ideas.
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful, very nice. So the leaders, what do you think? Great advice, financial friend.
And also one of the very important things, you need to be understanding exactly how much you can, we say it in our language, pull the blanket. You cannot spend 11,000 when you make 10. Yeah, so don't expose yourself above your level of earning. Why? Because this is going to put stress on you. When you are short with money, you are going to be stressed. That's meaning that you are going to be stressed with the customer, you are going to be stressed with the distributor, you are going to pressure your team, you are going to ruin your relationships, and you are going to have anxiety, and you are going to have overall very bad results. So always live below your means. If at any point you cannot pay for the event because you had expenses, that was a bad decision. Learn from that. You need to always have the money to cover for yourself, your development, going to events, investing in the products, doing the promotion, supporting the group. And then out of $10,000 a month, guys, if you're doing it right, you're barely left with 1,000 maybe, or 2,000. So you need to produce more if you want to have more.
In my case, when I was making like 30,000, I was a president's team member, I remember that I split my income. I was using 10,000 to live, I was investing in my business and paying taxes around 10,000, and I was saving 10,000. That was my math every month. I was like, save 10,000, pay my taxes and invest in my business, the other 10,000, and I live max cap with 10,000. And we have a philosophy because we've been trained more or less the same in certain aspects. I never buy something that I don't have the money to buy. Never buy in credit. I have never paid $1 in interest in a credit card in my life. You don't have the money, I don't buy it. If I have the money, I buy it. And you just need those little disciplines for exactly the reason that Rodica was mentioning, to avoid the unnecessary stress. Because we're doing this business to be independent, and we end up being a slave of our habits, spending and overspending money.
Yeah.
You want to have control, and you have control, you feel good when you know that you can pay your expenses, you are covered. And last one that you mentioned yesterday when we were talking, save money for the tough moments, because you're gonna have tough moments. It's normal, it's life, is business. For whatever reason, pandemic, personal reason, business reason.
Parents, children, family members.
An emergency thing like that. If you can save 6 months of your expenses, you're safe. But if you can save 1 year, let's say that your expenses are $5,000 a month, and if you can save $60,000, that gives you such a relief. You can go to bed and sleep and feel good because you are protected, you and your family.
This is because you save $60,000 before you go and invest now in something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what Jim Rohn says, build your financial wall around your family.
Yep.
And build your financial freedom.
Yep.
That's what you're saying. Financial freedom. So how long you can able to live without depending on the check, present income.
One of the most important advices for in this room, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow a little bit, both of us, is about management of your resources. Time and money, very important. And it's based on a priority circle,
yes.
base, you know. Once you have clear priorities, you know where to put your time and your money. If you don't have your priorities clear, then you waste of time and money. But I'm going to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great. So far, how are you feeling, leaders? Great inputs.
I just want to make a little bit of kind of practical recommendations. Now we have the image. We need to invest in the way we look. Guys, the people first will judge you the way that you look. I think it's in India, everywhere it's the same. Because when they see that you look like, well, they have more trust to you. So for us, it's very important to always have this itsy-bitsy things that make a difference, to have a nice pen, to have a nice bag for the women. For the money you can buy. I have the bags which cost $5,000 or $10,000 now, but I had my times when I had a bag that cost $100, $50, based on the money I was making, you know, to buy a beautiful lipstick, to buy some nice makeup things. But this is not as a spending, this is an investment, because you invest in your appearance, and when the ladies are sitting together in the club, and suddenly you take out a Chanel or a Givenchy or whatever lipstick, and it's beautiful, all the ladies around, they want the same thing. Who knows, ladies, do you agree with me? Okay. But this is investing. But when you are making $10,000 and you buy a very expensive watch, but you need to be very careful, because that is overspending. You may say, of course, but I pay $8,000 for maybe for you this is something completely savage what I say, but maybe you find some other equivalent. But you need to be making sure there are things that worth spending money, because it's investment and helps you build the business, and there are things that is an overspend and it's not making a big difference. I decided in my life that I'm not going to buy expensive watches, because I'm going to qualify 20K and 30K and 40K and Chairman's Club, and I will get my collection of watches, and I kept my word. I qualified Chairman's Class because I wanted the diamonds. I didn't want to spend the money on the diamonds. I wanted to receive them for free. So that's another strategy that you can have for yourself.
Wow.
By the way, I don't know if you guys, but I love this format. Because she's talking and thinking, then I'm talking, she's thinking, I want to talk again. Now, talking about practical advice. Let me give you a few practical advice about money. One of them is give yourself a prize when you achieve something big. I think it's important.
Yep.
Like, I achieve it, I will treat myself, and you can give yourself a prize. It can be depending on the level, that better watch, that car maybe. I remember one day, I bought my second car, and I wanted I feel a little bit bad, because my father, he had the same car for 10 years, it was an old car. And I bought this very beautiful new car, and I went to my house one day, my father, wow, beautiful car. And I thrown him the keys and said, that car is yours. Wow, it was a fantastic moment in my life to be able to give that to my father. It was like, wow, thank you, here is the car. But then other thing, when I received my first Marcus Bonus Award, I bought a nice watch. Then I realized I don't need to buy them because Herbalife is giving me one every year. So Then few things. Always have products. You need to have products. If you sell products, buy products. I cannot believe a millionaire team member that might not have enough products in the club or something like that, because they're spending the money and they don't have money to buy the club products. Number two, never lend money to your group.
Absolutely.
Never. The moment that you lend money to your group, you're gonna end up breaking that relation. And it happened to me many times. You end up losing the money, the friend, and the distributor, because the relation will be broken. Once I know that I give you money and he's not paying me, first, he don't want to see me. He doesn't want to come to the events because he knows that he owes me money. Then, when I see him, instead of wanting to help him, I want to kill him because he's hiding from me because he owes me money, right? So the whole dynamics of relations are bad. So I get calls asking for money many times, and I'm very respectful, but I make sure that it's the last time that they call me for money. Always. I said, hey, my friend, thanks for calling me, but let me explain you something. I have a lot of distributors. If I give $100 to each, I need to find a second job just to give money to my distributor. And second, I don't want to damage our relation. I can help you how to make more money. I can work with you the plan, but I will not give you money, and I will ask you a favor. Please never again ask me for money. Ask me for advice, never for money. And it's tough, it's hard, but it's the best advice for them. So keep your relations. Then never buy things that you don't have the money. Please keep the debt down or in zero. It will give a lot of time and freedom and energy, and the energy of the money will. Some good debt is good. Good debt is an asset that will appreciate and you will have more returns. Without getting complicated, maybe you bought your house and you put a good down payment and you have certain mortgage and you pay, that's fine. But never get debt to buy a TV or to buy a watch. I might have to get a debt to buy a new projector for the HOM. Yes,
Yeah.
it's an investment in my business, but not for other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, last question. You want to say something?
No, I was just supporting
Okay.
what you
Last question, we have almost coming to the close, is you have 33 years in Herbalife, right? You are 30 years in Herbalife?
Yes, I'm 30 and a half, yeah.
30 and a half years, so 33. Huge experience. They are like diamonds for us. So much we can able to mine from their experience. We can borrow from their experience. So my question is, Jim Rohn says again, anti-philosophy, seasons of life. There will be spring of opportunity and winters of difficulty. In India right now we are facing big momentum, big spring season. Again, Jim Rohn says after one season, there will be another season. After the spring, there will be winter, tough days after the opportunity. So these are the great evolving leaders, they can understand the conversation. So with your experience of 30 years plus, what are the pitfalls usually leaders experience? You might have seen several leaders, they grown up and fell down. With your experience, can you share them, because this is last question, beware of these are the points, like be pride or ego or too much spending money or not building business, only doing 2-5, just for the sake of 2-5 check. What are the main factors that make leaders that grow up, they fall down, so that these people will be warned, alerted with your kinds of experience?
We have a special training developed, which is called crisis management, and the first slide, or the first point on it is prepare for the crisis because it will come sooner or later. Mark Hughes had a very interesting way of saying, he said, when the time is hard, work hard. When the time is great, work twice as hard. Why? And I think there is so much wisdom in that. It's because when the time is good, when the growth is there, you need to already anticipate. But at some point, it's not being negative, it's just understanding the seasons of life, the cycles of the business. At some point, it's not going to be as easy as it is now. So today, I'm working twice as much because when it's not going to be easy, I'm going to be better prepared and aligned for that. This is a psychology which is very important to develop, and it's hard because all of us become negligent when things are good, you know? And then when things are bad, we are so surprised and we are completely shocked, and we think that life was not right to us, you know, that something is wrong, but it's not wrong. You should understand, you understand that it should come. The ups and downs are always there. And if you look at the history of India, it was up, and when it was down, and when it was up again, and when for many reasons it will be, it can be down again for the country or for yourself. So that's why building a strong first line, extremely important, is giving you, I will talk about this tomorrow also, building the first line. Taking care of the relationship with your leaders because you need them. You know, I say, we build the relationship with our leaders in a way, when the life hits them, the last thing this is keeping them in our business is their relationship with us. If not for our relationship with us, they have all the reason to leave the business. And I can track this to almost every first line that we had. When life hit them, the only thing that kept them in the business was our relationship, because they were just, you know, ashamed to betray us in a way. So build a relationship with your leaders. Take care of your business flows, because it's important to understand what you do in case things are changing. And for example, I want to give you an example. The war between Russia and Ukraine. It's the war between Russia and Ukraine. But we have not a big, but a good part of our check in Moldova, which is a country neighboring Ukraine. Do you think it suffered because of that? It's not involved in the war. Yeah, it wasn't our fault. It wasn't the fault of people in Moldova. We cannot do anything about it. We are just, the people there are just collateral victims, you know? And things like that can happen in your life, totally unexpected. So this is why we say, build a safety pocket with your money. Now when money comes abundantly, make a safe deposit, make a insurance, put the money apart for when you need it. Relationship with your leaders, building strong first line, and getting prepared. I think yesterday I was talking that if the storm comes and you took care of the water and you have food supply and you have a generator. By the way, I'm thinking of taking a generator in my parents' house these days because I don't have a second situation if something happens. To take the generator, to have some money, cash in your house, to fix the roof because it's leaking, to make stronger windows. Now you have the money and you can build. When the storm comes, you're completely safe. For a week, you can survive, you have the food, you have the water, all the family is prepared. You don't know when the storm hits, but when it hits, you are prepared. But if you are absolutely irresponsible, you don't have any money aside, you don't take care to have some second solutions for electricity, you don't have food supplies, you don't have your house prepared, then the storm hits, you are suffering much more. And when you think, why didn't I prepare? I should have prepared. So we are here today, or at least I'm here today, prepare, guys. The India is growing, work twice as hard as in the period when things are not very right. And you are going to be just fine through any challenges.
100% true. What I can tell you guys is, I want to be 100% sincere. We might tell you whatever we want to tell you. You will forget probably in half an hour until you go through your own seasons.
You're going to do your mistakes, yes.
It's just like that. One thing that we can do is to prevent most of them.
Yeah.
I always said that in life we have problems.
But listen, I really, not everything, but I really did took account of advices I received on trainings like that. Yeah. Really, because it woke up my mind. I said, oh, I never thought about that, but this is actually true. Let me do this and this and that.
No. Those trainings, probably that you took, is the training that can prevent things. Because you cannot, manage certain things. For example, I had my business in Venezuela. It was one of my biggest businesses. And Venezuela, when we were doing, imagine, Venezuela got to do 20 million bowling points a month. And because of the country situation, nothing to do with Herbalife or with politics, just politics, we went to do like 300,000 bowling points a month. Imagine that. That's how much percent, whatever percent, 3%, whatever percent. So it was super tough. But we were trained to go over these things, and we took certain prevention. For example, we know that when you have a situation like this, you need to focus into solutions. So some distributor went to other countries. Some distributor did certain things. Not everybody can do it, but at least you are mentally prepared to focus in solutions instead of just complaining and being a victim of a situation. You never want to be a victim of that storm because you didn't prepare and then you're gonna complain. You want to prepare. Then you're gonna have difficult moments, that's normal. You won't get an experienced, a sailor in calm waters. Your experienced sailors become experienced in choppy waters and storms and things. So it is part of the deal. But then, just by nature, you're gonna have your own seasons. Personal, emotional, then you fight with your first line, then you fight with your sponsor, then you fight with the city, the chairman's club, then you fight with everybody. Things like are normal in your process. And then when you are not making money, you are hungry. Then when you make too much money, you are not. It's normal. For example, this saying that hard times create strong people work to create good times. Then good times create weak people. Then weak people create bad times. Then bad times create strong people. The whole process is just like that. It's normal. What we can do is, with these advices, minimize the impact of those ups and downs and circumstances. And I learned this from Leon Weissman. He went to Venezuela and we're on a crisis. It was tough, it was difficult. And he said, guys, I don't know about the crisis and everything that you said. What I do know is the only thing that you can do is to focus in what you can control. You cannot control the government. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the currency. The only thing that you can control is, are you taking the products? Are you having good attitude? Are you reading the books? Are you going to the training? Are you talking to people? Just focus into what you can control. That was a very good advice. Those advices
Very
that
strong.
help you when you have those tough moments. So good, bad moments, it is relative. Write this down. When you think you're doing great, somebody's doing better. So that's humbling. When you think you are
The other way around.
and when you think you are bad, somebody's much worse. So at the end, it's relative. You are comparing to yourself or to the country, to whatever it is. And I have seen, Rodica, probably you have seen it too. In good moments, like India now, some people, they don't change the pin. Best moment ever, they stay in the same pin. And I have seen countries in a tough, difficult moment, and then you have a new millionaire team, then you have a new get team, then you have a new person. So at the end, it's not about what happened, it's about how you handle the situation and what you do about what happened. But it's gonna happen. So if you can take Rodica's advice, my advice, write it down, you might need it. You might not need it today, but you will need it in the future.
So guys, what do you think about this session?
Yeah. So we had a great session today. Thank you so much for being with us. And this is the first time we are doing this kind of session.
So
You
do you
led us-
like the podcast format? Did you like it? Okay.
So thank you.
I think tomorrow we should do podcast, and that's it, right? Just podcast for tomorrow.
But thank you so much. And
Thank you.
tomorrow also we have the wonderful wisdom from both the leaders. So tomorrow, wait for the next training for tomorrow. So we'll have a.
Thank you very much, guys.
We wanted to have a group photo. It's group photo. Can we have a group photo, please? Sama.